So Ryan, the first couple of weeks of being set up, how's business been?
Yeah, it's been very good actually. I've been starting obviously from myself from scratch just in the middle of the pandemic or whatever. But things have been progressing very well, a lot better than I actually thought. I've got obviously quite a lot of good contacts over the years from working from a local agent for 7 years. Them same people that I built up a reputation with are continuing to contact me and ask me to do them things, put their properties on the market, put their properties up for rent, and things like that there. So yeah, it's been moving a lot quicker than I actually thought, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And so when you came to the decision to go out on your own, what kind of conversations and what kind of things were going through your head? Because it's obviously one thing doing it for another person, but stepping out on your own at a young age as well.
Well, when you're working for someone, you're obviously employed, so you're getting a steady wage, so you're quite comfortable. That's a massive decision to stop and then obviously continue on from scratch on your own. But luckily enough, I had quite a few good conversations with local business people and relatives actually, who had a number of management properties, etc., for me to take on. So I was kind of hitting the ground running from the start, if that makes sense. It was your bread and butter money coming in just to start you off with the management. When I got that opportunity, I said, well, now's my chance to take it. So I wasn't really quitting my employment, starting from with no money coming in or whatever like that there. So that was the time to make that decision and take that jump.
And so obviously it's a big decision to make, to go out on your own. So what kind of advice would you give someone that's maybe thinking about that now?
Well, if it's in your head, it can be a risk, but it has to be a calculated risk. You really have to think about it and do a lot of homework. You just can't just abandon ship and go into the unknown. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be experienced in it, and do talk to people. People tend to, when you be open and honest with them, they tend to give honest advice. From my experience of speaking to business people, speaking to family, they've all said, go for it, you're able to do it. I spoke to people that I've dealt with in relation to people's houses that I have sold around the locality of Armagh. They've all said it was a good service that I provided for. It was me that dealt with. They were happy with that. You are able to do it on your own. Sometimes when you're starting out, you do doubt yourself, like everybody does, I suppose. But when you hear that back and hear good reviews back on yourself, it really does give you more confidence. And that's what kind of pushed me to actually taking the jump, was then we conversations. And young people think that they can't actually do this, that it's more of an older person's decision to take on themselves and do that. But it can be done if you do the right homework, you speak to the right people, and your confidence does grow. It can be smashed at any time. When you're starting off, you say, God, have I done the right thing? Will I be able to make this work? But for me personally, after I think it's about 3 weeks now since I've opened up, it's been growing quicker than I actually thought, and the homework that I have done is now starting to pay off big time.
Mm-hmm. And so have you had that moment, or did you have that moment at any point where you went, God, what have I done?
People have been coming up somewhat and saying sort of some negative things, like me and you were chatting about before, about the pandemic. Why did you do it now? Could you not have waited another year? Could you not have waited till this all passes? But that would kind of took me back a wee bit and says, goodness me, are they right? But business is coming close to me, and it's coming quite fast, and faster than I actually thought it would be. And I feel, chatting about the pandemic, it is a health pandemic. It's not a property recession as it was, say, in 2008. And people, I suppose, now have been sitting at their homes and stuff like that. They're in maybe a small 2-bedroom property with no garden, and they're tired of that, and they want their garden, they want their own suites now, because they've been stuck in that house now for the past 3 months and are looking, which is obviously beneficial from an estate agent's point of view. I do feel at the moment there's tons of buyers out there, And it's trying to get that point across to people that actually want to sell. People think selling now, oh, I'll not sell now because we mightn't get the best price for it. But as the supply is very low at the minute, and that's across the board throughout Northern Ireland from speaking to other agents and stuff like that there, that means that buyers have no choice. So from a seller's point of view, price goes up, and that is the case. People are ringing me, have I got this, have I got that, I'm interested in this, put me on your books for whatever's coming up. And it's trying to get that point across to the sellers, you know.
And so looking forward, do you have any big ambition or any big dream, or are you just at this point thinking one foot in front of the other?
One foot in front of the other, obviously, at the time, yeah. So let's make Armagh work, and then we'll see what happens after that there. Would I open up other branches? Absolutely, I'm not going to stop, you know what I mean? So I have branched out overseas, etc. I don't have any branches, unfortunately, in Spain or whatever just yet. But look, we can work from home. It's all on internet and stuff like that there now. So emails, phone calls, etc. That's what makes that work. Ambition, I was always ambitious, and it's good to be ambitious. Hence why I took that jump. I went from being very comfortable till the bit of the unknown, but I never wanted that not to happen. And you know, have that sitting over you saying you've never give it a go. And that's why I'm quite keen on pushing other young people to make that leap if they have done their homework and they are experienced in their industry. And I like to be what you call an expert in what I do, because it's what I do day in, day out. If you ask me to sell shoes, I don't know about shoes. I know about property. It's what I've been doing day in, day out, 6 days a week. And if young people are in that similar position and are thinking about it, speak to the right people, speak to myself. I can give you a bit of advice from what I've went through so far. I have a long journey in front of me, and it's an exciting one, but it can be done, and I just want them to really understand that.